Good afternoon, everybody. Well, welcome back. Our next episode is a real fun one we've got going post Halloween. Mask comes from one of my trips to Mexico. I thought I'd throw that in. Well, I've got a couple of wonderful dishes here. Really fun Friday night quesadilla. Beautiful. First quesadilla that is on deck is seared ahi tuna quesadilla. Fantastic. When you see how I put this together, it's not difficult. Share a wonderful cerveza beer. Of course, I'm going to pair that today with our friends from Garrison. Beautiful tall ship beer, what we use in our batter. Okay, so I talked a little bit about the first one, which is the ahi tuna quesadilla. And the second one is going to be a blackened shrimp quesadilla. Fantastic. So quesadillas, of course, we're going to use a flour tortilla. A couple of things. I have my own recipe to make my own. For this purpose, and for a lot of people, they don't have time to do it. It's about a 30-minute cook time to make your own. I can post that for you. I can even do a segment if y'all write in and say, Ken, why don't you show us how to make our own homemade tortillas? I can do that. We're making ahi tuna. Really, really simple. What you want to do is pad dry. You want to pad dry this tuna. Actually, you can even put like a little a diaper in the bottom of your dish so it gets that juice. And we're going to season that in a minute. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this induction cooker on, medium heat, a couple tablespoons of olive oil. Now, 2 tablespoons, just like that. And we're going to get a tablespoon of butter. Mix those two together. There we go. And then we're going to put some whole black peppercorns all over that plate, just like that. You don't have to bury the plate, the pan, but you want to make sure you put a bunch in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the whole tuna portions on. This particular dish will serve 4 very comfortably. What we want to do while that's heating up and warming up, we're going to just season this with a little bit of cayenne. Now this is optional, okay? You don't have to put cayenne. I'm a fan of spice, as some of you may or may not know, but okay, so just sprinkle a little bit of this sea salt on top of that cayenne. You can see over there on the pan, things are starting to bubble. What you want to do with those peppercorns is you want them to pop or soften right up. And that is when we're going to put this tuna on. Now we're warming that on medium heat. Now we're going to crank it a bit. Here we go. You hear them popping? There we go. Now we're ready. When they start doing that pop, it's ready for the tuna. Now, depending on how you like your tuna, I do it for 1.5 minutes on each side. This will give you almost a medium rare. Okay, so while this is cooking away, folks, here's the ingredients. The ingredients are extra old Bulverson's shredded cheese. I shredded that up. Fresh baby spinach and 3 different kinds of mushrooms, and portobello, cremini, and a white mushroom. So here we go. We're just making our first turn here. Ahi tuna. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. That'll be done in about 1 minute. On the mushrooms, you can see we've got these white mushrooms, and when you're picking the mushrooms in the store, make sure they're nice and hard. They're not all brown spots all over them. These are the white ones. They're mild tasting. There's the cremini. You can see they're nice and hard. They're firm. Try to pick out nice, firm, fresh mushrooms. It does make a big difference. Look at this. Oh, baby. See how in the middle of it, it's got that nice medium cook to it, and I'm going to shut that off right now. What we want to do is slice these nice and thin, and you can see medium rare. And like I said, if you don't like it that rare, you just cook it a little bit longer and it'll cook right through, and there we are. So I'm just going to take that and park it for a minute over here and keep it warm, and we're going to begin making the tortilla. Okay, here we go, folks. Our tuna's been cooked, and now what we're doing is we're just getting ready to finish the ingredients to go in the middle of the quesadilla. So what we want to do first is get all these mushrooms. And we're gonna just turn that up a bit, not too high, just a little bit. We're not adding any more seasoning into this right now, because I've got my own homemade balsamic reduction. And balsamic reduction is, you can buy it in the store, but I like to make my own because you can do so many different things with it. Like this particular one, I made it, you just take balsamic vinegar, you boil it down. I put fresh raw honey and some fresh rosemary out of the garden. And you boil that, and then you pull the rosemary out, and you're going to, this wonderful flavor that goes through the balsamic vinegar is great. You can do orange rinds, you can put apple in there. Don't put too many things, but you can create your own flavor profiles, making your own balsamic reduction. Look at that. Ay. In Spanish, my wife says, que rico, and that is que rico. You almost want to wilt the mushrooms down. You don't want to, sometimes you're making different dishes for omelets and so forth. They tend to cook them a little longer. I'm not going to do that with this dish. Okay, so here we go. Like I mentioned, we're just going to put some of this freshly washed baby spinach, and we're going to mix it in with these mushrooms. Look how healthy this quesadilla is. All right. Okay, there it is. Voila. Now all we have to do is put the tortilla together. Okay, here we are. We're about to assemble this wonderful Ahi pan-seared tuna quesadilla. This is a tortilla warmer. If you don't have one at home, that's okay. You just get yourself a deep dish pie plate with a towel, and it keeps them from drying out, okay? So we're just going to turn this on, and we want this on low heat to begin with. Just let that start to warm up. We're going to just put all this on here. Not all of it, we're going to put half of it on here. Leave the juice in the bottom. You don't want a soggy tortilla here. Now the tuna, you can see what we do here.
Papi, qué rico. Can't wait, let's shake it, don't waste it, just taste it. Can't wait, let's shake it.
And then we're going to take this old cheddar. You don't want to over cheese this, but we do want to have a nice coverage on it. We're going to put a little bit more just to finish it off, so they can all marry together with that cheese on top. And last, before I put on the other tortilla, is the reduction balsamic. You want to go slow with that. You want to overdo it. That honey balsamic that I made. Look at that. And finally, you just throw another one of these boys right on top, and you can peek once in a while. Look at that. Well, that is still, I'm gonna peek under here. Oh yeah. You don't want to burn it. That's why we want to keep it on a nice medium heat. We're going to flip that soon. Okay, time to just quickly flip this over. I have a glass plate. And you just take it over here, and we're going to put it back on that induction cooker in a second. And you just want to flip it just like so. And we're going to slide this guy back into the pan and then turn the heat back on. Like so. Oh, wait till you try this, folks. Heaven on earth. Friday night, tortilla night paired with a beautiful cold beer. The next one that we're going to be doing is the blackened shrimp, and that is going to be made with my own margarita, and the margarita with a twist. So we're going to make a margarita for the blackened shrimp. This one I'm going to have a cerveza right now. Okay, so here we go. Just want to slide that guy back down there. Get that top there. Look at that. And then finally, the best part is almost here. We're going to eat it. Look at that, folks. Absolutely heaven. Well, I decided to put it in a civilized glass to go with this very civilized dish. And thanks again, Garrison, for making one of the most wicked tasting brews I've ever had. To your health, everyone. And now, the fun part is when you get to do this. Cheers, everyone. We'll see you in a minute with our blackened shrimp.